Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new to this channel, do well to press the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so that you will be notified anytime I upload videos like this. Let's get started. So I solved this question right here and I decided to share it with you. Now you can pause the video right here and read about today's video. Okay, so with this particular video, we are going to focus on 3 data sets. Basically, the assignment data set, donations data set, and the donors data set. Now we are going to combine these 3 data sets to enable us answer these 2 questions. That is question number 1, question number 2. Now for the first question, it deals with we listing top 5 assignments based on total value of donations categorized by donors type. So as I usually do on my channel, I always like to have a feel of the data set I'm using. So I first look at the assignment data set, and as you can see on your screen, this is our assignment data set, and a quick look at it can tell you that you have about 5,000 entries in there. And with that known, we have to go and check for the other ones as well. So I go to my donations table and I will just use the simple line of code. So I will delete the assignment and put in donations rightly here and run it as well and see how that data set also look like. So this is my donations data set, and as you can see, it also has about 5,000 entries in there, or let's say 5,000 rows in there. Now it's left with the last table or data set, which is the donors data set. So I put in my donors, then I run it as usual to have a feel of how that data set looks like. So this is my donors table, and as you can see, it also has about 5,000 rows or entries in there. Now these are the 3 data sets that we are going to combine to answer these 2 questions. So without wasting much of your time, I think it's time for us to dive right into this analysis for today. Okay, so I just zoomed my query tool and let's get started. So I started this whole thing with a CTE, and I gave it the name CTE just to show that I'm using a CTE, but you can use any name, and you can see that in the second question. So the content of my CTE is what you see on your screen. That is, I use the select d.assignment ID. Now the D there is the alias for the donations table. So I also used this CTE to sum the donations in my data set. So as you can see, I also use the round function to round the amount to 2 decimal places and attach the donor type to it. Now the don, that is DON in front of the donor type, is the alias for the donors table. So a clear look at this shows you that I joined the data for donations and donors. Now I joined the donors table to the donations table on the donor ID column, because you can find donor ID on both data sets. So I did my joining on that, and I grouped by the assignment ID and the donor type. So basically that is the content of my CTE. Now we move to my main query, and in my main query I selected the assignment name, I selected my region, and like I stated earlier, the A or the letter in front of the dot is basically the alias for the data set that each column is being picked from. Now you can see a new one here, which is the CTE, and that one is showing us that these columns right after the dot are columns that are being picked from the CTE I created earlier. So I join this query with my CTE and I do the joining on the assignment ID column since it exists in both table. Okay, so with that said and done, I ordered my query by the rounded total donation amount. Then, as the question demanded for us to look for 5 or top 5, I limited the whole thing to the top 5. So we run this and see what comes out. Okay, I think we encountered an error here. So let us have a quick look at the data or query, to find where the error is coming from. And I think the error is coming from an S, which was not supposed to be there. So we removed it and we did the running. And as you can see, this is our results. Now, our result shows the assignment name, the region, the total donation amount, and also the donor type. So we have individuals and we have organizations donating for the various assignments. So you look at the East, the donation came from an individual, the West came from organization, and what have you. Now, I think it's time for us to dive into our second question. And with our second question also, I'm going to start with a CTE. And like I stated in the beginning of my video, that this CTE is going to be given a name that shows exactly what the CTE is about. Unlike the first one that I used CTE just to show that I'm using a CTE, this one I used donation count, meaning that this CTE I'm creating, I'm going to basically use it to count the number of donations that came through my data set. So I selected the assignment and counted the donation ID from the donation table. Then I grouped by the assignment ID. Basically, that is the content of my first CTE. Now, for this question, I'm using 2 CTEs. The first one is for the donation count. The second one is for the ranking of the various assignments. So I'm going to rank the assignment, and with this CTE, the content of my second CTE is as follows. I selected my assignment name, the region, and let me also state again that the letters you see in front of them is basically the alias for the data set that we are looking at. So the A in this case is for the assignment data set. Now you can see DC also there. Now the DC is the alias for the donation count, Now, one interesting thing that came through here was the Windows function. You can see the row number over partition by region, order by impact score, descending. Then we gave it a name, which is the ranking region. Now, the row number is a window function that assigns a unique sequential integer to rows within a partition, starting from 1 for the first row in each partition. So basically what this is about is that when we pick, let's say in this case region, if we pick the East region, what we do is that the row number is going to now assign a rank or ranks to what we are looking at, maybe from 1, 2, 3 up to any number that our query allows. Then when it's done, it moves to a different region and also starts with 1, 2, 3 and what have you. Basically, that is what the command there is going to do. It's going to help us rank our assignment. So we did that from the assignment table. We joined our donation count CTE on the assignment ID, and we also looked at the number of total donations being greater than 0, because we are basically looking at donations that really exist, not donations that do not exist. Because if the donation is 0, it means we are looking at no donation in this case. So that was the content for my second CTE. And now to my main query. With my main query, I selected the assignment name, region, impact score, then the num total donation, that's the donation number, and all these were selected from the rank assignment CTE. That is my second CTE. Now we use our filtering, which is where rank in region is equal to 1, because we are looking at the ones that had the best ranking in this case. So we ordered our table and by region and in the ascending order. Then after going through it to see whether something is wrong somewhere, we decided to run and see the outcome. Now, this is the result for our second question. And as you can see, we have in this particular table the number of donations, we have the impact score, we have region, and we have the assignment name. Now you can see that in the East, that is the region East, we had 2 donations, and the impact score for these donations were the best, that is the highest, 10 out of 10. When you come to the North, we had 9.99, South we had 10, and West we had 9.99. So basically, that is that for today's video. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it for others to watch. Till we meet again. Bye.